Hey everybody, this is MyCollectables coming back with another video, and we've got the first appearance of Rocket Raccoon comic that is coming to Veve, and it's coming on Tuesday, May the 9th. And this is another nice comic that I want to talk about. And actually, it's got a better price than the Star-Lord comic that we just saw that came out recently as well. So I'm going to compare this to that one, show you the real world value of it, and tell you about how I think this is a perfect comic for master collector programs, stacking, and for future use, in terms of value, right? So we'll get into this in just a second, but if you do like the video, make sure you hit like and make sure you comment down below. Let me know if you're going for this comic. It's another one of those 1970s sort of magazine style books, but I'm going to show you the other comic too, the first appearance of Rocket Raccoon in a Marvel kind of standard comic that you could get, outside of the app, of course. I'll show you that one too, right? And you can also follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. We can continue to talk about all this stuff there for sure. We'll see what else is coming, this week with Veve, with everything that's happening. You got the Infinity Stone stuff. You got, like the Lamborghini, you have the Luke Skywalker. I mean, so much stuff is happening with Veve. This is a perfect comic right here to slip in the middle and actually do some great master collector stuff, right? So let's check it out right here, you guys. Here it is. It's Satana. This is Marvel Preview number 7, 1975. Now, this is, like I said, a really interesting book from the 1970s that, is like a magazine size, like an oversized one. It's really cool. The artwork you can see really suits in to that Frank Franzetta sort of art, that happened in the 70s, that kind of Conan the Barbarian sort of look. And if you actually look at the Star-Lord comics, very similar to like that. There was these kind of books that happened, right? So this isn't exactly like a Marvel comic in particular, like, like a comic book. There is one in the Hulk, like the Hulk had a comic book where Raccoon shows up there, and that's sort of a secondary first appearance. But this is the first appearance. You can see the cover looks absolutely beautiful. It's really quite amazing, the art right here, the Devil's Daughter and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. There's a whole breakdown video for you by Veve, of course, right? And here you go. Here's the Rocket cover right here. This is the rare, and this is the ultra. This is where he's blasting and all that kind of stuff. And then there's the secret rare right there. Now, I did go and see Guardians of the Galaxy 3 just yesterday, and it is a really great movie. It focuses mostly on Rocket's backstory. No spoilers or anything like that, but it's really highly focused on Rocket Raccoon, and it's a really good movie. I'd highly recommend you go and see it for sure. Now, this is the interesting part I wanted to tell you. The Star-Lord comic that came out was 10 gems. This is back to the nice price of $6.99, which is where it should be. I don't think that other comic, Star-Lord, should have been 10 because it hasn't sold out. And, it makes it a little riskier to go for. This is a lot better because it's only the $6.99 price. It's still the super limited right there. So, it's still going to be nice and rare. This is kind of the normal now that they're doing. This is kind of like the high end level in terms of like the high level of like mint size, in Veve at the current moment. Now it's 10,000, whereas we used to see 20,000 in higher comic books, 30,000 runs. Now it's usually 10,000 because of the current market conditions and the amount of users we have. But at $6.99, that is much better. So it makes it much easier to go for, which is what I'm going to do. Because if you land the secret rare, it's probably going to be about 60 to 70 gems or so, right? And I'm going to show you what I think about in terms of the prices right here. If you actually go over and look at the Star-Lord comic, which is a very similar comic, you can see this one actually sold for 10 in the store. Okay, so like this, that's what makes this Rocket Raccoon better. This one goes for about 4 or so on the common right there. Uncommon goes for about 4, same thing. The rare goes for about, 10 to 11. The ultra rare and this one goes for about 16, 17 at the moment. And the secret goes for just under 70. But you can see the floor is pretty thin on that one as well, right? So this is a nice comic right here to stack up in the aftermarket right here. If you're looking for master collector, this one here is going to be better because it's even cheaper in the store. So there's a better profit margin there if you do go for it and land the secret rare, which I'm going to do for sure. Now, if you look over on Go Collect, because I have the full access account, this comic has actually got really good value. A 9.8 for about 6,000 fair market. A 9.6, there's 23 of them, about 2,600 value right there. 9.4, you can see. So this is actually a nice comic book. It's got good value. It's not a piece of junk. It's a really nice one. If you had this in the real world, you'd be sitting pretty on it, and having a good time because, the prices on it are pretty good. If you go over to actually like eBay, you can see the most recent prices. And here's a little combo set that somebody did with that Hulk comic I'm going to show you in just a second. But look, at 8.5 sold for 873 Canadian, which is about 700 US or so. And you can see down here, you can see all these different prices, 500, whatever, 600, 700, something like that. Raw copies for about 450 to 350, somewhere in that range. That's even an ungraded. And you can see the Star-Lord right here. You can see that one went for around close to similar price as well. So it's a good comic. It's solid for sure. Now, this is the comic here. This Hulk number 271 right here. This is the first appearance of Rocket Raccoon in a Marvel comic, like a Marvel style comic, right? This is the first appearance, of him as a character for sure in a Marvel publication. But here's the Hulk one. We don't have this one in VV, but this one goes for about 1,200 at 434 copies at a 9.8. So this is actually a really nice comic too. If we get this one in VV, that would be great. But this is the actual first appearance that you can have right here. So this is kind of like going to be a good one if you ask me. If it should be nice for you to go and stack up for Master Collector. And I'm going to go for this one in the store. Like, the Star-Lord one was a bit harder to go for because it was 10 gems. This one's $6.99, right where it should be. So it's right in my wheelhouse for sure. And, afterwards, like I said, it's a first appearance of a character, a major character that's going to, continue on and do really good stuff, really popular character, a really nice book that's pretty, decently valuable. And it's also got like really good numbers and stuff like that. So you can stack it with that 10,000 run. It's not super crazy with their mint size, but it's not super scarce either. So it'll be a nice Master Collector comic to save for the future, just for future value and to stack as well. That's sort of the way I see this comic. You guys let me know how you see it. And if you're going for the drop, good luck, on that secret rare. I've only landed one secret rare ever. So I'm really trying to land another one. So I go for almost every single comic in this VV app. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Happy collecting.